Perfect. Welcome to my inspirational webinar on the UK Global Talent Visa. This is the first webinar for 2022. So a very happy new year to everyone and welcome. So today I will be talking about what is the Global Talent Visa, a bit about the application and process, the guidelines for TechNation Visa. Then I will welcome Adeyinka Ojo, my most recent successful client who received the Exceptional Talent Endorsement for the Global Talent Visa. I'll have a Q&A with Adeyinka and then we'll open the floor and let you ask your own questions to Adeyinka as well. So just quickly, briefly about myself, my name is Michelle Hewer. I am Australian Vietnamese and I am a UK Global Talent Visa coach. In 2016, I myself received the Exceptional Talent Endorsement and I went on to become a TechNation Visa Ambassador. This is because back then in 2016, I know it wasn't long ago, but not many people knew about the visa. I was one of the top 50 that received the visa. And then in 2019, I went on and applied for indefinite leave to remain, which is like permanent residency. And then I was able to apply for settlement. And now I've got my British citizenship. And the next step is my passport. I was in the UK for the last 7 years. I based myself in Manchester and Newcastle, and I traveled a lot down to London to work on my tech startup. I was an Australian solicitor before I moved to the UK, and I became a tech entrepreneur in the UK, and that's how I got my Global Talent Visa. After I got my visa, I wrote a blog about my story and my journey because when I applied, I had no one to ask. Not many people had it and knew about it. So when I wrote about my journey, I had so many people email me and ask me how I did it. So this is how it all started, was just one blog. It went viral. I became the TechNation Visa Ambassador and my journey started from there. And now I help so many people over the years. I've done this for about 5 years. I've helped over 500 tech entrepreneurs, senior execs, and tech employees. My success rate on average is 90%. And some of my clients have received their result within 3 to 24 hours, which is amazing because TechNation say that the decisions can come back within 8 weeks. So 24 hours is amazing. Last year, in 2021, I got a 100% success rate for all my Nigerian clients, which has been amazing. That's a big achievement for me and for my clients. And the reason is because I've been through the process, I've done it that many times, and I kind of know what the assessors want and what they're looking for, and also to how to fulfill the criteria. Over the years, I've helped clients who work for WhatsApp, Sony, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, Zoom, people who work in startups, CTOs, CEOs, UX designers, the list goes on. Every client is different. Everyone has their own unique story, which I love. And this is why I love doing this every day. And, you know, no two stories are the same. Everyone has a different story to tell. And this application is about storytelling. Just a quick disclaimer, I only help with stage 1 endorsements. It's a 2-stage process. The second stage is the Home Office visa stage. I'm not affiliated with the Home Office or TechNation, other than the fact that I'm a TechNation visa alumni and recipient. So when I got my visa, I had to prove that I had some leadership qualities. And these are the types of things that I had done over the years to show that I have an exceptional talent in digital technology. I've been interviewed, I've been in publications in the Sunday Times, I've been quoted in books, I've written articles. So these are the types of things that they're looking for to make sure that you add value to not only the UK tech sector, if you are in the UK, but to your own tech sector in your own countries as well. And this is the blog on my website. If you want to go in and have a look at the blog that went viral, it started with this blog and it's just about my journey. These are some of my successful clients. I know I've helped a lot, but these are the ones that want to share their story. Not everyone wants to share their story, and I have to accept and appreciate, they want to remain confidential. But these are some of my clients who have shared their story, and it's on my YouTube channel. And if you want to have a look at some of their interviews, go ahead and have a look. But yeah, there's people from Mahmoud from Egypt, Jennifer from the US, I've got Tatiana from the Ukraine, Daniel from Mexico, Dadazola from Nigeria, I've got Aziz from Nigeria, Taimur from Pakistan. So these are almost like my friends now that I've helped them all. They're all in the UK and starting, their professional careers and their lives. So quickly, what is a global talent visa? When I applied, it was called the exceptional talent visa, but now it's called the global talent visa. It's a special visa that was introduced to allow highly skilled entrepreneurs and talent, meaning employees in the digital technology sector, the ability to apply for the right to live and work in the UK for up to 5 years. It's a 2-stage process. And the first stage is you must be endorsed with exceptional talent or exceptional promise by a government body called Tech Nation. And once you are endorsed, then you can apply for your visa. You have to meet the strict criteria by Tech Nation in order to be endorsed, and not everyone gets endorsed. There's a 54% endorsement rate. So that first endorsement stage is the hardest stage. Once you get endorsed, then you go for the visa stage and you go through the normal process, your fingerprints, your biometrics, all that legally type of stuff that the Home Office, they do all their checks. It may look like a job application when you see the criteria, and I'll go through that, but it is more than a job application. And if the hashtag is Tech Nation Visa, because the Global Talent Visa is like an umbrella visa for lots of different specialties. So they've got endorsement body for the digital tech sector, but they also have different endorsement bodies for other sectors such as Arts Council, fashion, architecture, science, engineering. But today, and this is all I do is the Tech Nation Visa, which is the visa for digital technology sector. The benefits of this is that you get the freedom and flexibility to live and work in the UK for up to 5 years. You can apply for indefinite leave to remain and British citizenship. You can bring your family with you, so kids under 18, of course, and your spouse. You can also register a limited company, which is really important. I get a lot of students who are on student visas and they want to switch to the global talent, because when they're on a student visa, they can't register a UK limited company. This is why it's very attractive for them. You can also work for a tech company without the need for a company to sponsor you. And this is a huge one for a lot of people, because a lot of people who live outside of the UK, they can't get into the UK without having a job and being sponsored by a company. Once you are sponsored and you get to the UK, you can only work for that company. And if you leave the company, you have to leave the country. Whereas if you've got this visa, you can work for anyone you want to, so long as it's in the digital tech sector. And if you don't like the company anymore, if you want to move, you can. The visa stays with you. And this is the most flexible visa you can get. I got it because of that. I had a startup. But I wanted a break from my startup. So I applied for lots of different jobs, went back to my startup, and it was so easy because they said, do you have a visa? Yes, got the job. Really easy. And it's quite cost effective as well, in that the stage 1 endorsement application is in the hundreds. Stage 2 is also in the hundreds, except when you have to pay the immigration health surcharge, which is a lot, but that's in stage 2. But the stage 1 endorsement process is £456. It's a lot cheaper than a lot of the other visas. I mean, I've had so many visas in the UK and they were in the thousands, and it was ridiculous, the amount of money, but at least this stage 1 is only in the hundreds. The real benefits that I realized once I got my visa, and once all my clients got their visas as well, is that, being endorsed with exceptional talent or exceptional promise in digital technology gives you a lot of credibility. It gives you confidence as well to say, a government body in the UK has endorsed me. I'm credible. I am an exceptional talent. I am an emerging leader in tech. So I've got the confidence to apply for promotions, to apply for jobs. Also, you can negotiate. When I talked about, getting a visa from a company, you feel like you're on the back foot, because they're not only giving you a job, but they're giving you a visa to stay here. But if you've got your own visa, you have the confidence, the credibility to negotiate your salary. You can ask for whatever you want because they're giving you a job, but they don't have to give you the visa because you've got your own. And this is something a lot of my clients have realized once they've got the visa. One of my clients with promotions, she's got 3 promotions since she received the visa because she's got the confidence to ask for it. And she didn't have to risk losing her job and, leaving the country. If she lost her job, then she could find another one. It'd be really easy. There's loads of opportunities once you get the visa as well, because there's no restrictions other than working in the digital tech sector, which you want to anyway. You become a role model for people in your own country. I've had so many people contact me from different parts of the world, back home as well. So you're seen as a role model, and so you should be, because you're paving the way for people in your own countries to see what it's like to live in another country, to be endorsed with exceptional talent, and to forge your own career path and help others as well. And also it gives you the security that this visa it gives you a route to settlement. So one of my clients, once she got the visa, she said, Michelle, now I can actually buy a house and I don't have to worry about where I'm going to be in 5 years' time, because I know that I can apply for permanent residency, I can apply for citizenship, and I know where I want to be or can be. So these are the real benefits that you don't realize until after you get the visa. So I'm just sharing this with you. Quickly, just some of the stats. There's loads of people from different countries. There's 90 plus countries that people are applying from. As I said, there's a 54% endorsement rate, which means 1 in 2 applications aren't successful, and I'll go through that later. Over the years, there's been about 2,500 successful recipients, which isn't a lot. The reason is because only recently that there was a cap. So when I applied, there was only 200 per year allowed to get the endorsement and the visa. Only last year that they just said no more cap. Anyone who can apply can be endorsed. And now it's unlimited endorsements, which means lots more people are applying. You can apply for talent or promise. There's been about a 68-32% kind of rate of people applying for those different categories. There's a 75-25 for men versus women. Tech is very is male-dominated tech sector, so I do help a lot of women and try to advocate for women in tech to either enter the tech sector and to remain in the tech sector. So I'm a huge advocate for women in tech. And also, once you get the Global Talent Visa, you can join the Tech Nation Visa Alumni, which I am part of. It's a group of people who have received the visa, and it's a community where we share our stories. We have socials every month, and it's based in London, so you'll meet more people from different countries as well. So over the years, sorry, this is in the way. These are the stats from the different years. I mean, I applied in 2016, there weren't many, but you can see that over the years, more people are applying. And, as you can see, these are just applications, not endorsements. Endorsements hovering around the 54% mark. So already, and this starts from April to April each year. So this year in 2021, we haven't finished out the year yet. There's been 1,028 applications so far from April 2021 to now, and we've got another 3 months left. So it actually might surpass last year's applications. So as you can see, more and more people learning more about the visa, especially with lots of ambassadors and people now telling their story to, have a look at applying for the visa. Just a few more stats here. Different countries, and these are different countries of people being endorsed. Okay, I talked about the applications. Now it's endorsement rate. Unfortunately, Nigeria has a 30% endorsement rate, which isn't great. There's India, Pakistan, so they're creeping up. Turkey's around that 54%. You've got people from the US has 74%, and then people from China's 86%. This one's a bit of an anomaly, only because you've got loads of people from these countries applying, and not many are getting endorsed up here. But for China, there's only been about 80 people who have applied, and 86% have been endorsed. So obviously, if there's only a few people applying, but more of them are getting endorsed, that's why the percentage is high. So that was a bit of an anomaly, but they're getting a lot of people from the US, from Nigeria, India, and Pakistan who are applying mostly. These are some of the skills that have been endorsed, obviously, because it's a tech visa. Software engineering is one of the skills that are being endorsed. However, not just technical skills that are being endorsed, it's for people with business skills who work for tech organizations as well. So people in biz dev, people who work in as UX designer. I think there's marketing operations. So they're not hardcore tech skills, they're business skills, but you can see there are people with tech skills here that are also being endorsed, which is a great thing about this visa. It's a tech visa, but you don't have to have just a tech skill. You can have a business skill working for a tech company. So these are the stages of endorsement and getting the visa. So the first stage is the endorsement stage. Within the endorsement stage, there's 2 steps. You have to pay and register at the Home Office, and that's £456. You've got 15 working days and to then upload your documents and your application onto the Tech Nation portal, and that's when you submit your application. When I applied, there was no Tech Nation portal. We had to print everything out. I think it was about 80 pages, and we had to send it up to Sheffield, and hopefully they would receive it and wait for them to come back to us. Whereas now it's all online. It's very easy. It's an 8-week decision time, but again, sometimes it takes 24 hours. Usually during COVID, it's taken about 3 weeks for the decision to come back from the Home Office to say whether or not you are successful or unsuccessful. If you are successful, you go straight to stage 2 and you go to the Home Office visa application stage. And this is a legal stage. I don't help with this. It's very basic. You send in your fingerprints, answer some questions, pay the fee, and you get your Home Office stamp and everything. Now, this immigration health surcharge fee, this is an extra fee on top of the £152. This is the expensive bit because it's like an NHS, a medical fee. Everyone has to pay it. It's per person. When I applied, it was only $200 per person. Now it's $624 per person per year. So if you're on a 5-year visa, it's 624 times 5, so it's about 3,000 per person. And then if you've got family members, then you have to pay for them as well. So that is the bigger fee. So you just have to watch out for that. And that takes about 3 to 8 weeks to get. For me, this was only like a week and a bit. Once I applied, I got my visa within a week and a half. So this, for me, it was quick. Now, if you are unsuccessful, the great thing is you can appeal the decision to say that the assessor has made a mistake by looking at my application, and you can appeal the decision and say why they made a mistake. You've got 28 calendar days in which to respond to them, and then they have 28 calendar days to come back to say whether or not the first assessor did make a mistake, and they will determine based on your appeal, and they will look at your application again. They can say, yes, we agree that the assessor made the mistake, so you have been endorsed, and then you go for stage 2. But sometimes they say, well, no, we agree with the first assessor. I'm sorry, you're not endorsed. You can resubmit. You can have a look at the feedback that they give you and resubmit, or unfortunately, you don't fall within the eligibility of this visa. You can look at other visa routes as well. So at least there is an appeal stage. I've helped a lot of people with appeals. So I have insight into what the assessors actually want. So just quickly with the eligibility criteria I talked about, this is a Tech Nation visa. You do have to have, you can have a technical skill, but you can also have a business skill. So these, if you have a look at these roles, if you fall within it, it's great. If you don't, this list is not exhaustive because the tech sector moves so quickly. If you've got a role that it doesn't really fit, you will have to convince them, which one is that you're closest to, and then you convince them why you have a technical skill or business skill that's closest to ones that are listed. Now, what they have said is these are ones that are completely not eligible, and there's a list here, but one thing that I want to bring your attention to is consultancies. They don't want consultants or they don't allow consultants to be eligible to apply. So consultants are those who work for those outsourcing companies like Capgemini, Wipro, Tata Consultancy, KPMG. So those companies are consultants, and they are outsourced by companies to do some work for them rather than with them. So this is why consultants, it's a big no, I'm sorry, you can't apply. So the main thing that you have to watch out for, and this is what TechNation visa assessors want, and the guidelines say that you have to be working for a product-led digital technology company or have examples that you have worked for product-led digital technology companies. These companies are companies that actually provide a proprietary digital technical service, product, platform, or hardware as their primary revenue source. So what they do is they develop their own products, service, product, platform, or hardware to sell to their customers, either once off or through licenses or subscription. You can't be working for a company that does this for other companies. You have to be doing it for your own company, okay? So you have to work for or be a founder of a digital tech company that develops its own products for your own customers. This is a huge one. This has only just been released last year of the definition. I've been asking for this definition for so long, but now they finally have given us a definition of what a product-led digital technology company is. So once you've got satisfied that, you need to showcase 15 documents. It's, as you can see, it's very similar to a job application, but it's more than a job application in that, yes, you have to provide a CV, you have to provide a personal statement, which is like a cover letter. And then you need 3 letters of recommendations by experts in your field. And these people have to be experts. They have to be senior. You have to prove their credibility, and they need to write a story about you and how great you are, what you plan to do in the UK, and how are you going to add value to the UK tech sector. They're also not only assessing you, but they will be assessing your experts. So these people have to be senior. So your network is really important in this process. After those 5 documents, you need to submit 10 more documents. And this is the hard bit, and I'll go through that in a sec. They ask you to provide 10 documents of 3 pages each, and that consists of mandatory and optional criteria, okay? And these are the mandatory and optional criteria. The mandatory criteria is you have to show leadership. This is an exceptional talent or exceptional promise visa. They want to know that you are a leader or an emerging leader in your field, and you need to provide 3 examples of this. Under the options here, you've got 4 options, and you only need to choose 2 out of 4. And once you choose 2 out of 4, you need to provide at least 3 documents or 3 examples per criteria. You need to prove either that you have worked on innovative products and that what you do is quite innovative. You can prove that you have volunteered at certain tech organizations. So you need 3 examples of any volunteer work that you've done that advances the tech sector. You can show that you've made significant contributions, either commercial, technical, or entrepreneurial, to a product-led digital technology company. And this is about impact. This is about showing, you know, without you, what would the project look like? So this is about metrics. Did you increase revenue for the company? Did you develop a product that caused a new product to market and a new product for the company? You need 3 examples of that. Or if you are academic inclined and you've published some papers, you can show that you've made some academic contributions to the field in the digital tech sector. I chose this one because I was working with a university and I was building a product, quite an innovative product, and I was able to find letters from a professor who was able to say that, you know, what I was doing was very innovative, and we were collaborating and we were developing a highly innovative product. Now, there are 2 categories as well. If you have more than 5 years experience, you need to select the exceptional talent, which means that you are a leader in the field. But if you've got less than 5 years, if you're a graduate or you know someone junior, but you are emerging as a leader, you would choose the exceptional promise category. Okay, the benchmark is quite high for exceptional talent because, you know, if you've got more than 5 years experience, you would have a lot of examples you should have, and you should show that you are a leader in your field. Whereas if you are less than 5 years and you're a graduate student or someone who is building their career, then you have the potential to be a leader in your field. And that's the difference. Okay. Another difference is if you go for exceptional talent, within 3 years, you can apply for your indefinite leave to remain and then citizenship. Whereas if you go for promise and you get promise, it's 5 years before you can get your indefinite leave to remain. So there's that difference of 2 years. And this is why I got my visa quite quickly, because I got talent, and within 3 years, I was able to get my visa. So I've got a lot of questions from people, and I help everyone, you know, with all their questions, because it, as you can see, it can be quite overwhelming, but we take it step by step. You know, am I eligible? How do I present my documents? What is relevant information? Who can be my experts? How do I show my innovations? How do I show my impact? How do I show that I'm an exceptional leader? And, you know, I've received an unsuccessful result. What should I do? Should I appeal? And I help everyone with these questions. Don't worry, I've been through the process myself. I've helped so many people, and it's normal to have these questions. So just speak to me and I can help you navigate all these overwhelming questions and help you through the process. I've got different packages of support as well. A lot of people start with a discovery call, which is an eligibility questionnaire, which you fill out, and then I'll discuss whether or not you're eligible and how you can fulfill the criteria. I've got lots of templates that I've done for people where I provide structure and you provide the content, and then you can complete the application yourself. I also offer strategy sessions, so I help you from the very beginning to determine what your application could look like, who your experts can be, what documents and what criteria you can choose. But then this is my premium coaching package where I can help you from start to finish. It's an 8-week coaching package, and I will be with you every step of the way. I will edit all your documents and discuss with you and help you tell your story, because this is about storytelling. The assessors don't know you. They have to know, like, and trust you within the 15 documents that you're presenting. And because I've done it so much, I can certainly help you. That everyone has a very unique story to tell, and I bring that out in you. So now that I've been through the process and helped so many people, I've got some top tips. Start early. You know, there's loads of documents to prepare. You've got to budget, you've got to time it, you've got to plan it and implement it and submit. And in case there's an appeal, there's time as well. Having your application checked before submission is always a good thing to do, because, you know, I've seen so many applications that if I just looked at it, I could have picked up some things before the assessor would say, no, I'm sorry, you're unsuccessful. Your network here is your net worth. You have to rely on so many people to help support you, because you're going to have to ask them to write letters for you and vouch for you. And this process about self-promotion, if you don't vouch for you and if you don't highlight your achievements and skills, how is the assessor going to know what you can do? So this is about, you know, I did this, I achieved this, and, you know, it can be quite uncomfortable and awkward to do it, but for the purposes of a visa, you have to do it. And I felt very awkward doing it, but it meant that, you know, if I could get the visa, I'll do it just for this purpose, because I'm not like that. Prepared to put in the hard work as well. It is a lot of work, but the bigger the reward, which is getting the visa and settlement, the bigger the investment required by you. So you can't go in this 50%, you have to go in all in, and it will be worth it when you get the result that you need at the end. As I said, I've helped so many people over the years. I've got a lot of people from Nigeria. Jadezola, she's one of my successful clients. She says that the UK global talent means freedom and access to global opportunities. She's in London right now. She really can't put a price on the freedom to work in the UK without sponsorship or ease of starting a global tech business, and she can say it's totally worth it. She was the one that I worked with for 7 weeks. She submitted, and within 27 hours, Jadezola was endorsed with exceptional talent. So she's a very, very good success story there. Aziz Bazari, I know some of you may know Aziz. He's very popular. Aziz, I interviewed him a few months ago. You can watch his webinar. He says, don't rush it. He's been through this process twice. He says, do volunteer work and give back to your community, reach out to your network. They are very important. Take the risk and apply if you're eligible, and also to speak to me. And Aziz is just an amazing person. He's in the UK. His career has just gone off in the UK, and I'm so happy for him. We also have Chinadu, who I interviewed last month. Chinadu received his global talent visa. I'm not sure if Chinadu is in the UK just yet. I think Adeyinka, you know if he's in the UK. I think he is making his way across. He says, if you are eligible, just apply. Seek support to help you with your application, and it's better if the person has helped multiple candidates because they have more visibility and insights. And try not to be intimidated by the guidelines and take it one step at a time. Chinadu, again, he applied the first time and was unsuccessful, but we worked together and he got it the second time, which is amazing as well. And he's so happy. He knows the process, and he's amazing. It's unfortunate that he didn't get it first time, but obviously it's the storytelling. It's trying to, extract all his achievements and make that really clear in the application. So now that I've finished, I'm sorry I took a little bit longer than I meant to, but I'd like to introduce Adeyinka Ojo, my most recent successful client. If you would like to share your screen, I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, here you are.
All right.
How are you?
Hello, Michelle. How are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I know you were sitting in the background. Does all the stuff that I've just gone through just bring back all these memories?
I'm telling you, man, it's just coming back to me like when we sit down together to talk around all these things we need to do around global talent. It's very fresh, and man, I'm just really happy that this was a success. Good.
Such a success, and thank you so much for being here. And I feel like I'm just so proud of you, of everything that you achieved. Looking at you from when we first met to now, first of all, you're like so relaxed now. Yeah, so happy.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome. Let's get started. Okay, so why don't you introduce yourself? I think you know everyone here, just about, but I'd like you to introduce yourself.
Exactly. I will still check through the list. I was just like trying to round up one thing and then coming into the webinar, and then definitely I will do networking after this whole webinar just to talk to everyone. All right. So my name is Adeyinka Ojo. I'm a data scientist, and I have let me say 7 to 10 years experience in helping organization to enhance their data quality around their businesses so that they can get to the topmost or the zenith of their businesses. I've worked with various industry, from fintech to insurance company to startup to what I call manufacturing, helping them to understand how they can use their data within their businesses. And also not just that, also coaching them on the understanding of everything that has to data management. Apart from this, of course, I'm a bit of a developer where I have to write algorithms, and also a bit of codes just to make sure that the data that passes through organization is well utilized very well. Apart from these, normal 8 to 5 o'clock work that I do, I'm very passionate about data. I'm very passionate about digital tech. I'm very passionate about telling people about what IT can do. So I joined various organizations here, both in United States, UK, and also in Nigeria. In Nigeria, I'm a member of Data Science Nigeria, where we is a community where they actually push data and the usefulness of data for various organizations and people that wants to know more about data. And here in the United Kingdom, I have a community where I joined. It's called the DataKind, UK, where we have to help organization. It's a charity form of way where we have to help organizations to understand how to use their data and to make sure that everything works out very well. Apart from all this, I write within various newspaper links, articles, and also, I talk about data. I love data. I coach on data. This is all my life, so it's very good. And of course, my other part, that's Man U fan, Manchester United for life, for all the Manu fans outside there, thumbs up, so yeah, that's it.
Oh wow, I didn't realize, because I lived in Manchester for so long, and yeah, I went to the Manchester United Stadium so many times, went to games and everything.
Of
You have to
course,
go.
that's
Have you been? Have you been yet? Have you been to any? Well, obviously because of COVID, but
yeah, well, because of COVID. I mean, I've been to Old Trafford just once
okay.
to watch a match.
Yeah.
It's great watching watching the team.
Very good. Oh, that's exciting. That's very exciting. So
Thank you.
I loved your introduction, because just hearing it, you were a fantastic candidate. You really were. What made you decide to apply for the visa? Because you were already in the UK. You were working for a
Oh,
company in the UK, and you had a visa already.
yeah, thank you very much. So I came into the UK a few years ago, and I mean, immediately when I came in, I was able to get a job, and I was working within the digital sector of the organization. But I was, there's this kind of what I call limitation, because even though the kind of visa you are a bit limited, and there's a lot of pressure on you that what happens if the visa expires, or probably what happens if you have to, change your job, or probably if you have to bring in your family, or probably if you have to do some other things, maybe travel. I mean, I love to travel to probably other countries just to talk about different things, and all these limitations are there. And one of the things that really push me to global talents is because I want freedom. I just want to be able to be free. I want not just to be free, I want a very quick access to my settlement. I just want to get settled and then move to other things that I need to do, especially for my country back home. And apart from that, it's very, I call the visa is what I call is very family friendly. So for those that probably wants to bring in their family into the United Kingdom, it's very good for you. You can bring in your family. You're not going to depend on anybody. You're not going to depend on any organization. Maybe they are sponsoring you, and you won't be on pressure by any company, because if they sponsor you, it's like they're putting what I call knife on your neck. Every now and then they remind you that, well, you're riding our sponsorship. So it was a bit a moment of what I say. I just want to be free. I want to be able to travel, to do other things I would love to do, and also to be with my family.
That's really good. And then, okay, so that was what attracted you. And then when you look at the guidelines and everything, what were your challenges and hesitations when you actually did find out, like, okay, let's look at this in further detail?
Oh, I remember this old thing. No. And honestly, one of the things I would say about the global talent or these old visa is that it looks very daunting. It looks very challenging. It's very let me, if I can use the word, intimidating. I mean, I've done so many projects. I've worked on very massive enterprise projects before. I mean, this is what I do. But the first time I have to read this technician, I was like, what is this? Yeah. How come? Who's going to write 65 pages of, showing your innovation, showing your impact? I'm like, nobody is going to do that. I don't have time for that. I'm very busy. I don't even have the time. And moreover, one of the main challenges I see here is that now you need to get people that needs to recommend you. You need to get top CEOs, top what I call senior executives within the organization to write 3 pages around your innovation, around your impact, and they have to be very unique. I was like, no way. So a friend of mine introduced this to me. I mean, he's a PhD holder, first of all. I told him, I said, no, I can't do this. I don't have the time for it. Even though I know I may get it, but I don't like writing. I don't like, I don't even know how the whole structure will be. Then a friend of mine, of course, Aziz, have to tell me again. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a try. I mean, even though I don't like, to fail too much, but I'm like, let's give it a try. But the issues I see around here is very intimidating. Getting the structure together, getting my expert, which is the 3 recommenders that will probably write on my behalf, and they have to be CEOs of not just an organization, but top organization. Either you're talking about within Africa region, or probably you want to talk about United Kingdom. They just have to be within the C-suite it was very, very stressful. And lastly, how will I arrange all these 65 pages? Of course, I've done lovely innovative products. I've done things that have impacted organization. But how will I put it together? It was all this was running in my head, while I was thinking, and I was like, no, I can't do this. Moreover, I'm too busy. I have other things I'm doing. So then I remember my first meeting with you. You're telling me that, oh, Adeyinka, probably you're a high risk applicant. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm high risk? Do you know what I've done? And it's all because I couldn't bring all my, ideas together. I couldn't bring in everything I've done together because I'm just working and I've forgotten how to document everything, which really, really matters. And it's one of the things for future applicant, whatever you're doing right now, try and note it, document it, make sure that it has metrics that you can showcase later and tell people that this is what I've done. So I mean, let me just stop there so that I wouldn't.
I remember because Adeyinka was like 65 pages. No, he was already like 60. You were very focused on the 65 pages, and I said, look, don't worry about that. We will break it down. And because you had all these challenges and hesitations, how did you overcome it? Because a lot of people get to that block. That there's a mental block, and then there's all these blocks. How did you get over that block? Because you ended up working with me. So
immediately. I mean, probably getting to meet you. Of course, I joined your webinar. That was last year, just like this, just to watch and like. One of the things I first did was first of all to read through the Tech Nation site itself, and then the home office site, just to understand what needs to be done. And I was like, on my own, I was a bit documenting these, but very, very slow because, as I've said, I wasn't really, I don't know, maybe I would have the time. Then I started watching videos online. I started watching webinars, people that probably have done it. And I was like, well, I think I should be able to do this. And I mean, luckily, I was able to meet Michelle. And one thing I did was, first of all, to go through Michelle's site. And then when I saw the success rate, I love data, I love metrics, maybe because this is what I do. I mean, metrics don't lie. I just want to say the data, give me the data, and then I can drive, whatever I want to do from there. So I was like, oh, this is 80%, 90% success rate. I said, all right, good. I think I would go for it. I probably, if I've seen 100% success rate, maybe I won't even come because even machine is not 100%, So I'm like, 90 is okay for me. Let me just see what I would do. And then I came into your webinar, and then we talked after that, and then we started the whole process of how this will be put together. And I started telling you all my innovation, the things I've done, and the things that have impacted industry so far. So from watching YouTubes to reading the Tech Nation site itself, because you need to read, of course. I won't lie to you. You need to take time to read everything and then document your questions and then prepare yourself. It took me like 6 months. Immediately I knew that I would do this. I started, preparing down what document will I need? Who is going to be my expert? Is there an innovation that I've done in the past that catch what I call the limelight within the news line? And all these I have to put together. And then, come around and Michelle, we started doing the whole process.
It's amazing. Like I remember when you first started, it was, I didn't really understand because there was so much everywhere, but we really went down. It was like a funnel, and then we went all the way down, and you had some amazing innovations at the end of it. I was blown away. You had too many.
I think I was just everywhere. There were so many things I've done, and I was like, I mean, I've done so many things. Which one do you want?
One step at a time, Adeyinka, one step at a time. And so, right. So let's talk about your experts, because, we had the strategy session again. You were again overwhelmed by these have to be really big, CEOs and big organizations, but your network was amazing. They were almost like your friends in the end, because your colleagues, but then obviously you have a personal relationship outside of your professional relationship. So they weren't, an elusive CEO, they were your network.
So I always said this was one of the greatest challenges that I actually have to overcome, because of course I have few mentors back home that I really, really that I've worked with, and they are doing very great in their various sector. So I have to really, first of all, write down and have to take the list from the expert that I'm going to use. So first, I have to look around. I used someone who is, I call him a serial entrepreneur. You know, he has founded so many organizations, and he's a great mentor to me. It's someone that I look up to very well. He has actually coached me very well. He's into founding various digital organization that produced products in the past. So I was able to pick him, and also I used a senior leader in his own industry, in the fintech industry in Nigeria, and the fintech industry is one of the leading industry in Nigeria. I have to give him a call and say, "Oh, boss, you know, this is high time you give back to your boy," you know. You know, and lastly, as I've said, I was a member of a community here, also in United Kingdom, and also back home. I have to use the community founder just for them to write about what I've done, so that they can actually put up my innovation and then tell people about my impact, not just innovation, but how what I've done has actually impacted the industry. So it's cut across the senior leader within the industry, top entrepreneur, as I've said, they are founders of their own organization, and also the community leaders that I work with.
Yeah, that's great. And it was a very balanced, your experts were all balanced, because you could have chosen 3 people that you worked with in your 3 jobs, but we wanted everyone to tell a different story about you. And it was really nice, because it was, you know, you're huge, you know, advocate and passionate about giving back to the community. So that was a huge part of your story, and we wanted to include that. So that was a really good one. Okay, so the criteria, you were so overwhelmed with the criteria. So we picked 2 out of 4. Which 2 did we pick, and then what documents did we choose? Because we have to have 3 examples for each criteria.
Yeah, exactly. If I can remember now, you know, I'm forgetting some of all these things.
I know.
Now that I have everything, but I remember that one of the criteria is leadership. You need to be able to prove that you're a leader in your sector. That means in the digital sector, which is very compulsory. So one of the document I think I submitted was, first of all, to prove that I led a growth within a digital space organization. And what I mean is that I was able to develop products that leads to the growth of that digital sector. And I remember I submitted references from the leading experts within that sector, and also putting up a bit of my, you know, line codes, my GitHub, you know, a bit of what I call technical diagrams of what the innovation is all about. Of course, there's what I call data privacy. And so definitely I didn't just push all this out, because I need to protect that. I mean, when we probably talk to Michelle, I mean, she'll be able to guide you on how to do that very well. So one of the things we did was just to blur some of all these technical diagrams. But of course, there was a reference letter from that organization. Another thing was to, as I've said, outside my normal day-to-day activity, I was able to work with community organization, charity, like the DataKind UK, where I was one of the what I call coaches on data solution to various UK companies and even US companies. I remember I was on 2 projects for some US organization where we have to help them to harness their data and make sure the data becomes something they can utilize very well. Now, the document that was submitted also for that reference letter from that organization. So that means you can see that for every of the criteria that is being submitted, there's always a reference letter, because they want credibility. They want to be able to check. And all these reference letters are coming from, as I've said, is either maybe they're the top leaders within that organization, maybe the CEO, maybe the executive director or the C-suite, those that sit within the board level. And also, I remember putting up diagrams of, again, and of course, we picked the high salary. Of course, I wouldn't tell you what I'm collecting over here, you know. But of course, we have to put a high salary also. One of the things, the criteria is that if you're getting a high salary, you can compare the salary with what the technician says. And then I remember I was doing a comparison with Glassdoor and some other sites just to show that indeed I'm suited for this leadership role and based on my salary. And I think lastly, yeah, I write articles. I mentioned that in publications. I mean, let me mention the name Punch. Punch is a newspaper in Nigeria. I was able to push out some articles a few years ago. I mean, these are things we just do, not knowing that it will be very useful for us later. And all these were being put together. Of course, the newspaper clipping, you must be able to show the reference and you must be able to show your name. And probably they must know that this is coming from you. You can't just submit any article. It will show that this article is being developed by you and is being written by you. So I think those four were the criteria. I get everything right.
Yeah, it was great. I know, just listening to it, it's like, wow, we did so much. But also, you had written a number of articles for Punch, but over a period of time. And what a lot of people do is they see the criteria that, yes, you can write articles, and they do it a few months before they submit. And that's a big no, because the assessors know that you're doing it for the purposes of the application and not to show your leadership. And you had done that in 2018 and 2020. I think you had a period of time where you did it over the years, not a few months before you submitted. And these are reputable publications. If someone's just asked, can I publish on Medium or my own website or LinkedIn? No, they don't accept that because it's your own platform. They want you to go to a third-party platform and establish that platform's credibility. And Punch obviously is the newspaper in Nigeria, exactly. So it had a lot of reach.
And just to buttress on that, because they want to be able to see the metrics. I keep talking about metrics. They want to see how many people actually read that particular publication, because they will check and just to show that yes, indeed,
definitely. Yeah. And so you chose, that was leadership, but then you chose innovation and impact. So you had you had a really good background of the companies that you worked for. So we used different examples from the different product-led companies that you worked for and explained your innovation. So we had 3 projects for innovation.
Exactly.
And you struggled with the first one only because you were like, I don't know why it's innovative. I'm like, it was so innovative. This is why.
I know. Do you want me to just quickly run through the innovation? Of course, I won't probably mention it because, of course, the organization.
Just maybe one. Quickly. We are running out of time, but if that's okay with you.
One of the innovation was to actually bring out an app that manages the what I call the usage of solar panel usage in an African region. So we have this solar panel that is being developed, but of course, how do you know how much of your energy is being used every day, or probably how do you know how to recharge when your energy goes down? And this is what the app that I did was doing. It was measuring the usage, not just the usage. It was able to measure when you're meant to pay. So there was an algorithm that was running at the back of this whole application, and of course a lot of UI and UX interface around this whole application. So it was a really, really smart AI application, because the usage was being monitored, and then you can see it about the mobile app that was built. So I would just mention that.
That's great. And also, just quickly, we have to mention, yes, that was innovative, but what we really had to explain was what was the problem and how did you solve it? That was the difficulty, because yes, you develop apps and things, and that's great, but I wanted to take it back and say, what's it for? Like, why did you need to do it? The why is so important. And then the how is the next important thing to showcase innovation. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then
and I remember that, because you need to answer the question like, what was the problem, what was your solution, and what is the impact of that solution? So it has to be, everything has to be around you. They don't want you to use we, because they want to actually be able to know that you are the one that have the patent for this product that has been developed. So it is, I have to keep writing like I managed, I developed, I was responsible. It's all, you have to be selfish when it comes to technician. Those guys outside there, they don't know you, but you must be able to put up your documents together very well to convince them that yes, you are exceptional talent in this space.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this application is about you, not about your team. So they don't really care what your team did. They only care about what you did because this is your application. Absolutely. And this is something, this is because I helped someone with an appeal, and the assessor said, this is teamwork. I don't know what the applicant did. So now it's all about what did you do? Definitely. Okay, so that you've done your application now. So when did you submit? And when did you get your response for the endorsement? I know it wasn't 27 hours, which I was disappointed with.
Yeah, so I remember I submitted, that was 1st of November. That was last year. And I have to wait 3 weeks. And Michelle, you know, that was the longest 3 weeks of my life. Yeah. In fact, I have to practically, on my system, on my other laptop, I have to practically open down my mailbox, because every day I need to check, and I was expecting to see home office mail, either, you know, getting endorsed or probably throwing out my application. So it was very slow. It was like 3 years for me, about 3 weeks. So so I submitted on the 1st, and then November 22nd, you know, around, and let me tell you the drama that happened that day. I was in a meeting, you know, around 4:30, I was in a meeting, a very serious meeting with another client. And I was at the other side, I was peeping, just like, today's 22nd, it is not 3 weeks. Can you, this mail, just come in and let me have peace of mind. It's been 3 weeks. My mind has been up and down, you know. And suddenly around 4:30-ish, and I saw the mail. Instantly, I ignored the other meeting. In fact, they were like, are you okay? I was like, give me some time. And I was reading through the mail. I was more particular to see where they would say, and you have been endorsed. And when I saw that, oh my goodness, I ran out of the house. But the other team, the other meeting, I have to tell them that, can we postpone this meeting right now? You know, I'm like, I was so happy, because that means a lot to me, you know. So it was exact 3 weeks, from 1st to 22nd. And it was really, really good.
It's a long time. I had to wait about 2 weeks as well. And you're counting the days just to make sure that have they read it? Have they got it? You know, and it's hard.
Very slow. Yeah, it was working very slow.
And you ran out of the house with your wife and you screamed, and then you emailed me.
Exactly. That was the drama. I have to grab my wife, and we both ran out, you know. And I told my wife, or maybe I read something wrong. Can you just help me read slowly, so that probably my eyes is deceiving me, you know? And then it was all joy. Oh my God.
That's amazing. That's a lot of, relief, right? I remember.
Relief. Great one. Yeah.
That's great. And then, so that was stage 1. Then you went off and did your stage 2 visa.
Yeah.
So how long was that process?
Yeah, for the stage 2, now, once you have your stage 1, you have, I think, 3 months for you to quickly submit your application to the Home Office. And now they will finally give you your global talent visa. And then, so I submitted that. That was November 24th, I remember. Yeah. And it responded within just 5 days. I got it by December 30th last year. So it was like 6 days intervals. I was able to get that, and then I have my BRP, which was very, very beautiful. I wish I can show you guys.
It's a card, but it's a very important card.
It's a very, very important card, you know, and they put on it global talent, you know, which I'm very, you know, very proud of. Very, very proud of.
You achieved all that right before the end of the year, so that was really good. That was something that you achieved with your family, and I know your wife supported you throughout this whole process, and she was just amazing. Yeah, it's teamwork. It really was teamwork. Oh no, he's frozen. Oh, there you are.
Process. Most of the time I have to tell her, can you come and read this, because I'm not sure, maybe I'm writing the right you know, things out there. And then she have to read. I have to like, are you sure? We are in this together. If this goes forward, we go forward together. And you know.
You did mention that. So if I'm getting this, you're coming along for the ride too. It's not just me.
Coming along.
Yeah. Okay, so we are running out of time, but I still want to, if people need to go, please go, and I'll record this and upload it on YouTube. But I've got 2 more questions and then we'll open the floor. Now that you've been through the process, what advice would you give to others? Because I know that, you've got insights now.
Yeah, and this is quite very good. First, I would say be very clear with what you want to do. Don't rush it. Be very intentionally be clear that this is what I want to get out of this. Your documentation and all your resources, make sure you understand what to use, especially when it comes to your experts. They must be willing to write good things around you, and they must be willing to put 3 pages down. So it is very, very important. And I would say be confident. Now, the tech guys over there, they are not, I don't know the right word to use, but they're very smart guys. Be confident. You've done a bit of good things in the past. Put it in writing. Work with Michelle. So that you can have what I call structure around the whole process. Don't forget that the tech guy is like they're doing a pitching. You're trying to pitch and you are not there, so they don't have time. They are expert. They are leaders in their own space. Also, they just want to quickly flip through what you've submitted and to be sure whether they can actually endorse you as a leader or as a promising, talent. So be confident about what you want to do. Be calm. Yeah, that's one thing I learned, after working with Michelle. Just be calm. It's full of stress, emotional stress, mental stress. As I've said, I've done various projects in the past, but I think this is one of the stressful projects I've done, because you are trying to prove that you're a leader in the tech sector. It's not easy. So be calm about it. I would say I would use the word be savvy. That means it may look daunting. It may look, this is not sensible, but keep looking at the reason why you should be endorsed. Take risk. This is it's going to involve a lot of risk. Honestly, be prepared to take risk, because by the time you work with nature, you understand. But don't worry, of course, risk takers are those that rise, in life. And lastly, let me say this, because this is based on my own conviction. Please pray. Depend on God. And this is me. You may not like it outside, but this is me. Only God is the lifter of men. You may. I remember I told Michelle that we've done everything now. Let's submit. Yeah. But the assessor may even be in a bad mood. So please pray and depend on God. If you don't remember anything, please remember that, please. Yeah. And lastly, talk to Michelle. Just talk to her. Just give her a call. Tell her everything you have in mind, your innovation. As I've said, there's a way she will help you to put up your structure. If you are very busy like me, and you need someone to manage this project for you, it's a project. Let Michelle handle it for you. She'll be able to tell you what you need to do, how you need to write, because you may be very, very good. I've seen smart guys that have been rejected before, all because they have to model up everything they've done. So Michelle will be able to guide you very well, put the documents, but you're doing the work. Michelle is not going to write anything for you. Please no. I need to mention that she's not going to write anything for you. All the innovation must come from you, and they must be distinct with metrics. When I mean metrics, data. What have you done? How has the innovation impacted the industry that you did it for? People must see it. It must be very valuable, and please don't copy someone else details. That is no. Yep.
Thank you for that. And that's amazing. That's really good advice. And yes, I don't create your documents because I don't know what projects you've worked on, but what I will do is I'll check it and I will highlight the innovation, the impact, and make sure that it's structured and well written. And I come in and edit. I bring your documents to life, so to speak, because you've got the innovation and the content. I just pick the relevant bits. That's really important and gets me excited, because all your projects were so exciting. I loved reading about them and talking to you about them. Okay, finally, there's loads of questions, but what are your exciting plans now that you've received the visa? What's next?
All right, yeah. So as I've said, now the visa is here. I'll keep working within what I call the digital sector, because this is my passion. And I see a lot of organizations still that don't understand the use of what I call data. So I will still be in the sector, in the space of data management. But of course, in the nearest future, I will be able to impact more for my own country. I'm looking at a way of making sure that we have products that can help us harness all the data we have in Nigeria, and to understand the whole way of working, and this will really help us. I will still continue to write publication, to talk in conferences, and also my charity. I'll keep doing teaching people. It's just to give back to the society, and this is what I love to do. Yeah. So for now, there's a lot of plan, around my head, but because
just enjoy. I think enjoy the moment, because you'll never get it back, as you know. So it's lovely to hear about your exciting plans. All I see is a big smile on your face now, and I can't help feeling the same, because when I applied and I got it, it's like, who do I celebrate with? Because it's one of those things that it's so personal, and only those who've gone through the process will understand how stressful it is. And the stress is there. It always is, these things, but you've come out the other end, and it's just amazing. And I'm so inspired, I'm so inspired by you. I just really enjoyed working with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Oh, thank you. Right, we've got loads of questions. Okay, and thank you everyone for staying around. Now, I've got some people who have hands up, but if you can just put your questions in the chat or the Q&A, we'll go through it. Oh, you've got really nice messages. It's really nice. Thank you. Please do write messages for Adeyinka, because I'm going to share this with him so he can have it. He can print it off. Okay, so do you need to personally know the reference in the UK, or they can look in your profile and write a reference? What did we say about networks?
Yeah, exactly. So what I would say is develop a very good network. And whether they are in UK or probably anywhere in the world, the most important thing is that they are what I call the C-suite leaders within their own industry, executive or probably CEO, and it must be an organization that is known, not a shackle, or probably what I call an underrated organization. So, but build networks is very, very important. It's one of the things that really helped me. I have 2 mentors in Nigeria that have really, really helped me grow very well, and I'm still in touch with them. I'm still giving back to them, they're giving back to me. Make sure you have a very good network.
So in other words, you do need to know these people. Like, you can't expect them to write 3 pages about how great you are if they don't know anything about you. So yes, you have to have a relationship with them, a close one, hopefully. So I've got some questions which I can't answer now because some people have joined later, but you can watch the video after. Sorry, have we got any other questions that we can? Oh, sorry, I'm going to look at the Q&A. Right. Can you apply as a PhD student still on Tier 4 who hasn't worked with a product-led company? Unfortunately, the criteria requires you to have worked for a product-led company. You may need a bit more time, or there's the research route, which is from the UKRI. So if you want to have a look at the Global Talent Visa under the research route, that might be suitable for you. But unfortunately, this is really about you working for a product-led digital technology company. So this is something that I didn't mention before, and this is something because the guidelines just changed, and that's why I said to Adeyinka that he was high risk, because at the time you applied, you didn't work for a tech company, you worked for a manufacturing company, but on the tech side. So they changed the guidelines while we were actually applying, which meant that you were no longer high risk. You were actually okay to apply. And this is something that we have to watch out, because a lot of times the guidelines change as you're going through the application. So this is why we need to work quickly to ensure that the guidelines do remain the same, because by the time you submit, you need to make sure that it's the current guidelines. So even if you are a tech expert and you don't work for a product-led digital technology company, but you have in the past, that's still okay. So the guidelines have now changed to, you can, if you have a technical skill, you don't have to be working for a technical or tech organization.
Yep.
Right. But if you have a business skill, you have to work for a tech organization.
Yep.
That's just new in the last few months. So just be careful. So yes, Omuwuni, your husband is a tech expert. he doesn't work for a tech company, but let's have a chat after, fill out one of my questionnaires on my website, and then we can have a discovery call. So that's fine. How can I help? There's so many packages of support. Have a look at my website. Otherwise, contact me and we can have a discussion. Okay, what if my recommenders and referees want me to draft the letter? I fear it wouldn't make the letter as strong as it should be, and it might easily be suspected that I drafted it. So what you can do is you can help, you can start it off and help them kind of see what types of things that you need to be in the letter, because Tech Nation have guidelines about what needs to be in the letter. So you can start drafting it for them to give them the flavor, and then they can go in and make changes if that's if you feel like that's the best way. And I think, you know, I know experts are busy. You can't expect them to write it from scratch because they wouldn't know what to write, but give them the guidelines, because there's a little bit about what they need to write, but you can also start it off so they kind of get the flavor, because, you know, it's hard writing from scratch. So that's a good one, but we'll be chatting later, so don't worry, we'll go through all this. I know you've booked in for a discovery call. You're a data scientist, you work for a global NGO. Again, if you have examples of working for product-led digital technology companies, you can. If you're currently working for the NGO, is it a product-led digital technology company? I'm not sure. So we'll have a chat there. Okay, if most of your work was based in a foreign country, how does Tech Nation verify your work? And Adeyinka, I think you can.
Oh yeah, exactly. If it's based, because we have guys that are coming from other countries, Nigeria, India, United States. So the way they verify is that for every of your information or your document you're pushing out there must be probably what I call like links, or maybe if there are newspaper clips that talks around your product. So e.g., maybe you build a product that has to do with, example, maybe loan application, or maybe something that has to do with any mobile app. And there's a newspaper that probably talk around this particular innovation that you did. Such publication can be attached to your documentation, or like the link. And when they click on it, they'll be able to see that, yes, this particular product that we are talking around was built by you. So there must be a very verifiable link to your innovation, either newspaper clips, or maybe what I call maybe we have all these like GitHub or Stack Up, where you probably you can show that people were able to see the underlying codes. It's a bit, but they must be able to say something, because they want to be able to verify. They won't go to Nigeria to go and check. But now, another thing is that LinkedIn of your experts is very, very important. They will check, and those experts, they must probably have been, as I've said, leaders in the industry. So they will check their LinkedIns to see that, oh, indeed, the person that is probably recommending you, he or she himself is an expert in that particular field. So that is how you can.
There's got to be a lot of people say, how are they going to verify? They're going to call everyone. So how they verify is looking at your pieces of evidence, but your expert will also verify your work, because these experts are high-level people. They would not verify if they didn't believe and trust you. So that is a form of verification. So have your experts talk about your work as well as you showing your work. And then, as Adeyinka said, if there's any newspaper articles or even the website, screenshots of the website to prove that, yes, you work there, your LinkedIn profile, everything has to kind of connect the dots. They can't check everything, but you need to supply as much information as you can. So it doesn't look, suspicious or anything. I've given you my website link, so thank you. I've just popped it on the chat. Someone's working as a data engineer, having overall experience of 4 years. Would you be eligible to apply? It sounds like you would be a good candidate, but again, do you work for a product-led digital technology company? What examples can you give? Have you got examples of leadership? And those are the things we can discuss. A lot of people also ask about, I don't have any publications, or I've not written any newspaper articles. You don't have to. On the website, there's 10 examples of leadership. You can, if you have written articles, use those, but you can get letters from industry leaders to show how you led a product or a team or a company. That's a leadership. If you volunteered at any tech initiatives, that's leadership. If you won any awards, that's leadership. If you've written any research publications, that can be leadership as well. So there's loads of different examples. You don't have to always just write articles and things like that. I was on panels. I was a judge at a hackathon. You know, it's about thought leadership. Why do people want to ask you questions about your field? That to me is leadership. I've got 2 people who raised their hand, but if you wanted to just pop your questions in the chat or the Q&A, that would be great. I think that's it. I know we're over and I'm so sorry. And thank you so much for staying. We had only a few people drop off. And thank you so much for everyone's questions. If you know Adeyinka, please wish him and congratulate him. If you want to chat to him, he's available. Chat to him.
I'm on LinkedIn. You can just search for me on my LinkedIn and then we can catch up and
again, someone's asked how I can help. Have a look on my website and then contact me through that. That's amazing. But I hope we have helped you understand and navigate a bit about the process. I hope we haven't scared you off, because it can be scary, but it's not really. Adeyinka, it's not that scary, is it?
No, it's not. It looks intimidating, but don't worry. You can always ride over it. Honestly, it's just like that. But you've got the stock, and I can tell you, just take the risk.
Yeah, I mean, I was scared too, but you know, the reward, it trumps everything. Yes, it is scary, but nothing. It's such a big reward that whatever scares you, you're just gonna have to fight through the fear and do it, because the reward is so big and so great that you're feeling the fear, but you're doing it anyway. That's what we did, didn't we? Excellent. Okay, well, we're going to leave it here, and thank you so much. I know we've gone over and everyone's saying thank you. I'll send you all the congratulatory messages, because it is really nice to read. You are a role model, Adeyinka, whether you like it or not. Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
I'm so happy for you. And, you know, obviously we are going to keep in touch. And everyone, best of luck with your applications. Please do contact me through my website and we can have a chat. But I'm going to leave it here now. And you can please look at your emails, because I will send an email around tomorrow. And another thing that we didn't mention, and I didn't mention in my story, is please check your spam. Please be in the habit of checking your spam, because my Home Office application response came into my spam. I didn't see it for a few days. So can you imagine if you didn't see the response in a few days, you would be, luckily yours went through into your inbox, but mine went into spam. So please be in the habit of checking your spam now, because it can go in there. My newsletters could go into your spam as well. So please check that now. But I'll send you a newsletter tomorrow. But thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.